Hello, everyone, and welcome to Big Sam's Long Balls podcast with me, Dan. It is transfer deadline day, and Liverpool are actually active on transfer deadline day for the first time in quite a while. Well, I suppose the last time we were active on transfer deadline day, it didn't particularly end up going well for Liverpool as we signed Kabak and Ben Davies, but we will forget that. Um, Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Like I just said, it is transfer deadline day. It's a very, very exciting day for all football fans worldwide. We're going to be seeing the biggest news or the latest news of what happens today. I get the feeling that today could be one of the busiest transfer deadline days in quite a long time. Thankfully, I'm not at work today, so I get to be able to sit here, look at all the footballing news, and hopefully do as many videos as possible. So interaction is the name of the game on this channel. So comment down below, guys, your latest thoughts and your feelings on all the transfer deadlines, all the signings rather. So let's jump straight into this. Liverpool have obviously needed a centre midfielder for an awful long time. Everyone has been linked with this football club throughout this summer. The likes of Jude Bellingham, Barella, Frankie de Jong, so on and so on. And players or fans rather were getting very, very overly excited about who would be coming in. The likelihood of signing a Jude Bellingham or a player like that on transfer deadline day was never going to happen. But then Luis from Aston Villa became a transfer target, not a player that I think many people were particularly excited about, but a player that I think made kind of sense, could play the six, could play the eight. Has a year left on his deal. Steven Gerrard came out last night and almost seemed to confirm that he would be, he can go. It's not up to him. He's only got a year left. That he wants to keep him, but if the player wants to go, he'll go. Liverpool had reportedly offered 20 million for him. It's been rejected, and Aston Villa have said, look, they're not going to sell him. So I think that's one to keep an eye on for today. I can see Luis moving. I know Villa have come out and said that he's not going anywhere, but Arsenal are heavily interested. Liverpool were interested, and Atletico Madrid are interested. And actually, even though Liverpool have seemingly just gone out and signed someone, albeit on loan, I definitely feel that Liverpool could go out and potentially put in, or match an offer for a Douglas Luiz if, say, an Arsenal or Atletico have a bid accepted, then maybe Liverpool might go in and match it. I have nothing to back that up with. That's just my personal opinion because obviously Henderson's out injured last night. Naby Keita's out injured. I think Naby Keita's injury could be a long-term one. I get the feeling so could Jordan Henderson. So we might actually have a need to bring in two centre midfielders. Anyway, that's all just, waffle, really, because the news is that Arthur Melo from Juventus is going to join Liverpool on loan. I was out walking the dogs this morning and suddenly popped up in my phone that Liverpool are signing a centre midfielder. Get all excited, click on it, and it goes Arthur Melo. And my first thought was, who? Who is this guy? And then obviously I remember he used to play for Barcelona. He moved to Juventus for a whopping 70 million euros, I believe 2 years ago, with Pjanic going the other way. Now, does that show that Arthur Melo is a really, really talented player? Potentially, yes. You don't spend that much money on someone who doesn't have the talent. Equally, a deal between these two clubs with that amount of money, it could have been a bit of money laundering. Anyway, that's, I'm not saying that's the case, but look, it's just one theory. So either way, Arthur Melo is a very, very talented player. You don't play for Barcelona, for Juventus, and then obviously end up playing for Liverpool on loan if you're a load of rubbish. However, he potentially is out injured at this moment in time. We don't seem to know that. Some reports are saying he's out injured. Other reports are saying that he's absolutely fine and he will be fit to play Everton this Sunday. So really, 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 really don't know. Maybe it was a bit of a Coutinho injury from a few years ago where Coutinho pretended to be injured so he could leave and piss off to Barcelona. Anyway, what type of player is Arthur Melo? Well, having watched a couple of compilation videos, and we all know with these videos you can make anyone look like the best player in world football. But having watched quite a few, and I've been able to sort of chat with just other fans, Juventus fans online, the general consensus seems to be that he's a player that can play the number 6 and can play the number 8, which seems to fit what Liverpool have been looking for. However, a couple of Juventus fans have said that when he's played the number 6, he hasn't looked at his best. They feel that he doesn't particularly want to play there. He's really struggled in the number 6 role. So I can't see him as a player that would swap in and out with the likes of Fabinho, which is another reason why I still feel like a potential move for Douglas Luiz could still happen. But in terms of a number 8, what I've seen, with sort of compilation videos, what I've read from a lot of Juventus fans is actually they feel that there is a monster in there. There is a really, really talented player. He can play that number 8. Stylistically, from what I've seen, I think he does look a little bit like Thiago, and he also looks a little bit like Wijnaldum. So it could be, the perfect combination really that we could be getting. I think it is an exciting signing. I know loan deals aren't always the most exciting. If someone's out on loan, there is a particular reason for it. I've seen a few comments so far saying that a team like Liverpool shouldn't be doing loan deals. It's an embarrassment. I disagree with that. I think you look at Manchester United under Sir Alex Ferguson; they had some fantastic loan deals throughout his time as manager. I remember him signing Larson. I believe that was a loan deal, and that was a terrific signing. Obviously, Bayern Munich signed Coutinho on loan. He was a big, he helped them sort of obviously win the league. They always win the league, but he helped them go on and win the Champions League. So you can. He was also Perisic as well that they signed on loan. Who was a really, really good signing. So just because you're a big team doesn't mean that signing a player on loan means it's a failure. It's a smart piece of business. And reading, a top tier journalist, someone who sort of mainly sort of deals with Liverpool and is very reliable when talking about Liverpool, he's mentioned that, the signing of Melo on loan does mean that Liverpool can go all out for Jude Bellingham next season with an outlay of a transfer fee on a midfielder this season. Melo to Liverpool makes sense in the bigger picture. Now, it does. It might disappoint fans. Certain fans, I suppose, want FSG out regardless. So they want Liverpool to go and spend 100 million on Jude Bellingham now. They want us all to go spend 50, 60 million on a midfielder currently. For me, I'm not really bothered by that. I just want someone in who can come in, can help this team, can improve the team ideally, and just do the job. Arthur Melo, like I said, I'm not going to pretend that I'm the biggest expert on this guy. When the news broke, I couldn't even remember who he was at first. So, but I've watched a few videos. I've spoken to a few Juventus fans. We could be signing someone who really, really does fit this club. This was a quick thread that I found, and I think it'd be worth sort of sharing with some of you guys. So, look, Arthur Melo to Liverpool. Wow, listen, that guy's an exceptional footballer. All right, we don't know if he's going to be, does feel a little bit over the top. Stylistically, he's just like Thiago, and that's exactly, in block capitals, what Liverpool need when considering the press resistance, pass volume, and general second phase qualities they lack when Thiago and Keita are out. So I think that's a fair point. Arthur is one of the cleanest first and second phase passers in the sport. He's nimble, he's agile, and good with his passing. The press resistance and the circulatory, but also progressive passing is a thing of beauty. His quality will be obvious straight away in a red shirt. So look, exciting stuff. I've just seen Liverpool trending because we beat Newcastle last night. I was going to do maybe a podcast on the game last night. Let me know in the comments down below, guys, if that would be something that you'd want to see. I want to kind of analyze the game, but because it's transfer deadline day, I suppose I'm going to be distracted with some of the latest deals. I think it was a really, really interesting game last night. Actually, I thought Liverpool's performance was pretty awful, and I was going to go in on Liverpool, but there's bigger things to talk about today. In terms of fits, Arthur will likely be brilliant for Liverpool. We can only hope, because where he struggles is regards to dynamism between the lines due to his lack of physical power. That's not brilliant. But Liverpool's midfield is very second phase based, so that's not an issue that will prove to be massive. While we don't know about that, I think it's a fair point about the second phase, but physical power. I think one thing that we've seen, or an issue I think we have in the first, 4-5 games that we've played, barring obviously the win against Bournemouth, is I think we were physically dominated against Fulham. I think similarly at times against Palace. Manchester United definitely were outfought in that middle of the park. And I thought last night as well, people were bigging up Harvey Elliott. And I thought, look, Harvey Elliott was easily our best player last night, but people were giving him 9s and 10 out of 10 performances. And that was a bit worrying for him, because I thought first half in particular, I thought he struggled a little bit. He was still our best player, but he was really he was struggling to skip past Joelinton. He looked like a boy at times in that first half. He was being physically dominated. Now, credit to Harvey Elliott, because I thought second half he came out and he started to run rings around certain Newcastle midfielders. Joelinton in particular started to really struggle up against him, and then he became our most creative player. So fantastic for Harvey Elliott to be able to do that. But I think some of the reaction to his performance last night was a little bit over the top. But I do think Liverpool's midfield has been very physically weak. Obviously, it helps if you've got someone with the talent of a Thiago, and hopefully Arthur can come in and be something similar to what Thiago has been. I think if you can do that, then maybe you can sort of you can compete a little bit more, even if you don't have that physicality, even if you don't have, all of that stuff that I think sometimes you do need in the Premier League. However, the past number of games, I do think Liverpool have been struggling physically. I think Jordan Henderson's been a prime example of that. He's looked like a player that traditionally you would go if you want a physical midfield, maybe not the most talented in terms of, the best first touch and playing in tight areas of the pitch or whatever. But if you want a strong physical midfielder, you chuck Jordan Henderson in. Watching him being, thrown to the floor and out muscled and outrun, it's been really, really sad. So if he's not the best physically, that is a little worry for me. Another potential worry is regarding his attitude. I've heard things that perhaps people have questioned. The only question mark surrounding the deal is his attitude. Liverpool are notorious for sounding out psychological profiles of players before signing them because of how important it is. Yeah, of course, it doesn't go on to say sort of exactly what Arthur has done. That is so bad behind the scenes. But if he does have a poor attitude, is he a little bit lazy? In training, is he arrogant? Is he, whatever? And I think we've potentially seen a difference in attitude already this season. Darwin Núñez, obviously, with the headbutt, and while some Liverpool fans are loving that and his reaction last night, he can't start against Everton. There's no way that Darwin Núñez can start against Everton because he will just do the crane kick from Karate Kid within the first 2 minutes. So, but that's not a Liverpool thing to do, to go under Jurgen Klopp, to go around and headbutt someone. We're a passionate team, aggressive team, but in the right ways. So hopefully he will have the right attitude. Again, I suppose what's sort of said on here, even if he doesn't, it is a loan deal and you don't have that. It's not as if we're signing him for big money for 5 or 6 years and suddenly you've got to deal with all of these issues. If he comes in and he's a success, brilliant. Potentially you can look at an option to buy if you want to. I think there is no obligation to buy with this deal. But if he comes in and doesn't suit the Premier League, doesn't suit the team, and if he has an attitude problem, then you don't have to play him, and there's no worries with that. So, I think a loan deal is fine. I understand why some fans feel that this is, typical FSG being cheap. I don't really care about that. I just want the right player, and it's good to be able to bring in a centre midfielder. Like I said, I still feel that maybe the Luis deal could happen. Very unlikely for FSG to go out and sign 2 players today. I know that. I know it's very, very unlikely. And if we bring in this guy and he passes his medical, then the likelihood is this will be obviously the end of our transfer business. But I have a feeling, for whatever reason, that perhaps going late on today, that maybe Douglas Luiz will be made available. Someone is going to strike a deal with Aston Villa, and I feel that Liverpool will be in there. Anyway, that's just my feelings. Let me know your thoughts on this down below, guys. Do you think he'll be a good signing for us? Do you think he's going to suit the team? Is he what we need? Or are you thinking, no, I do not want this guy anywhere near Liverpool? If you know more about Arthur than me, and I'd imagine you probably do, to be honest, because I don't know an awful lot about him, let me know in the comments down below what type of player he is, what are you looking forward to, or what are your concerns. Anyway, hopefully today's going to be a very, very exciting day in general, and as a Liverpool fan, I hope to see a little bit more activity. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, definitely give us a like, comment down below, and subscribe, and I'll see you very soon. So thank you so much for watching.